Wait, what day is it?
Is my mic even on?
No, I don't know. What day is it? I put my
Morning.
ears in. We're a little late here.
Good morning, Denver, Colorado. Billy and I didn't sleep at all last night because the northern-facing part of our house, first of all, there's no trees in Elizabeth. So there's nothing to block the wind, and then my bedroom wall was right up against where the wind was coming, so good night. I've had some rough nights as a mountain guide in a tent in the middle of storms, and last night was kind of one of them.
Ooh, really? Was that bad? And I know those nights. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Getting any sleep.
Yeah, no, we're not as bad because of where we are, and there's a house next to us that's a windbreak, and then a house behind us as well, so it wasn't necessarily as bad. I heard it every so often throughout the night, which is good, but it was just a long day for me yesterday, and I didn't sleep that well, and changed my eating pattern because I had to go see the doctor and stuff. And then I was in the bar late, and then I got home last night, and I had to go watch our president speak after that, and I had a little indigestion after going to bed after that was a little tough. So yeah, it was a long night for both of us, but for different reasons. Both a little bit because we were impacted by hot air. Ha! See what I did there? See what I did? So early. Oh, this is going to be a great show. I've known
this is going to be a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
who knows where this one's going to go? We've got a lot to talk about. Santa Trump, Billy, bringing a 1,776 bonus to the wonderful men and women in uniform. Way to go, Santa Trump.
It's a cute number. I love that. But have we done the math on what that comes out to really being? I mean, it's $2.5 billion.
No, they're politicians. It's not their money.
I know it isn't, but it's $2.5 billion roughly. And it's great for all of the service members, men and women. But it's $29 a week roughly. That's not even. You can't even take a family of four to McDonald's for that warrior dividend.
Jeez, it's just never good enough for you, is it?
I just do the math.
Never good enough for you.
No, I just
Santa
decided to do the
Trump is
math.
delivering, Mr. Thorpe.
I just decided to do the math and see what he's. I decided to see what he's delivering, and he's delivering less than what it would. You couldn't go to McDonald's to.
Billy, you would take a check for $1,700 right now with joy and smiles and everything.
I don't know about joy and smiles, but yeah, I'd take it. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If your boss came to you and said, yes, we're giving you this raise over the next year, but if you amortize that and go, okay, my raise amounts to $29
It's not a raise,
week.
It's a Christmas bonus.
I know that, but what I'm saying is if your boss came to you and said, I'm giving you a raise, and again, the raise, if they would have raised the pay, that would have been a longer-term gift to our servicemen and women. That's why I went with raise, because it's the longer-term gift rather than a one-off. But if I looked at that and it would amount to $29 a week, you'd go, yeah, I appreciate that. That's very nice. It's very generous. Thank you. But is it impactful? Not necessarily impactful.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Right before Christmas, it's wonderful. All right. We're going to talk Trump's address to the nation yesterday. What did you think of it? Was it a part airing of the grievances, part celebration of everything he's been able to accomplish in a year? We want to hear directly from you. Give us a call at 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Norton Rainey is going to be joining us with ACE Scholarships. Here's a headline you don't always see. Pull us all in on Trump's tax credit scholarship, while other Democrat governors waiting and seeing. What is this all about?
You got to tell me, what were the odds that someone here in Colorado were going to see a headline that said, pull us all in on Trump, whatever the hell it is? I mean, it doesn't matter what you follow the rest of the sentence in. You're like, hang on, wait, what? Yeah, the entire front half of the headline should just be a surprise. Yeah, I am surprised as well, but I'm excited for the conversation. I'm real curious about this. We talked about it a little bit off air, you and and I, unlike some other people that I have read online, I am not willing to say this is an awful, horrible, no good, very bad idea. And I saw that in a number of liberal circles. And I think they were doing what we talk about all the time. They were letting their politics interpret their truth and interpret their reality. And I am not sold this is necessarily a bad idea, but I've got I'm really excited to chat with our guest and get some of the, the nuts and bolts about this and how it can possibly assist in the educational gains in Colorado. This could be a very good thing.
Yep, absolutely. That's going to be a fascinating conversation, 7 o'clock hour. And then did you see this mayor of the city of Evanston, just outside Chicago, have his Tiananmen Square moment? What Mikey had always wanted. This guy got out there and directly confronted ICE
Okay.
Yes, that's right. The mayor confronted ICE.
This is why the our show is so weird, and it works on a very strange level, because when you talked about that the mayor had his Mike Johnston moment, that is the first thing I thought of too, sir. The very first thing when I saw him standing in front of the ICE captain and they were going back and forth, I'm like, ooh, I know a mayor that's jealous of this. It's exactly what I thought of.
This was interesting, and he goes on to tweet, "We will not be intimidated. Get the hell out of our city." Yeah, not illegal immigrants he's talking about. ICE. Good night. It's a perfect example of how the progressives get things flipped upside down. All right, we've got a lot to cover. It's going to be a wild show. Now is time, though, for the news.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good morning. It is Thursday, 29 and partly cloudy, windy in some areas of Denver. Expecting a high of 46 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234. To learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story: utility crews working to restore power in parts of Colorado where residents were hit with wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour. Xcel planned on cutting power to thousands of customers as a safety measure to prevent wildfires. There were also unplanned outages that left over 100,000 customers without power. Got ours back at about midnight last night.
Oh, man, you guys were out, huh?
Yeah, man, we were out all day. You know what? It turned out to be great for my wife and my boys who are in high school. They, it was just back to no cell phones, no smartphones. I was working, but they played board games, man, and talked, and it actually turned out to be a great thing. So a blessing there. The strongest wind gust recorded Wednesday was 109 miles per hour. South of Boulder. Several school districts closed today due to power outages, including the Boulder Valley School District. More than 24 Jeffco public schools will not have classes today. There may be an encore performance for Jeff and Billy tomorrow with this wind. So get ready, Jeff. Once it's going to be coming from that north end there again.
Lovely.
Speaking of wind, and what Billy said was hot air.
But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work.
DJT with a primetime address last night stating that the economy is good. 47 delivered an 18-minute speech at the White House and said he inherited a mess when he took office, but has achieved more than anyone could have imagined, and a bonus for military service members.
Tonight, I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776.
Here comes Santa Trump. Here comes Santa Trump. Right down Santa Trump Lane.
That's right.
Here comes Santa Trump. Here comes Santa Trump.
That's right. I love how you could. He's still a New Yorker. Will He says, will ya? Will ya? All right, so that's good for military members. Hey, this one I just saw. Democrats in Congress may force action on a bill to ban stock trading by government officials. A congressman from Rhode Island says Democrat leaders may introduce a discharge petition. Now, I'm thinking this is a bad thing, but now I look into it, it's a good thing, on a bill that would prohibit stock trading by members of Congress. I guess it speeds it up. The president and the vice president. The petition could come in January, so we can get all these politicians out of insider stock trading, hopefully. All right, last night on X, Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, posted that he's leaving his position in January. He thanked everyone, including the American people. I think he's sick of how deep the deep state really is and in intelligence, and probably thinks it's impossible to break it from within. Maybe he'll be able to do more from the outside. This is going to be fascinating. At least to me.
But Donald Trump says he was just missing his talk show. Was one of the
Yeah,
things he said. So
he
could that
did.
be it?
He
Could that be
did
the
say
idea?
that.
Because recently with Sean Hannity, Hannity confronted him about a bunch of things that Bongino had said that then, as the FBI assistant director, he came out and said what weren't true, and part of that had to do with the D.C. bombing, and
Right.
And when confronted with that, Bongino said, "Well, at that time I was paid for my opinion." And soon, and again, I'll be paid for my opinion again. Basically saying that my opinion was untethered from the facts. That doesn't help when you're going to be the deputy director of the FBI. And if he comes out and says, well, yes, before, in my previous career, bit of a liar. Doesn't help either. I think those type of interviews are really hurting his profile inside of the administration. And I understand the idea of going after the deep state, but he's there. There would be no other perfect chance. If he thinks the deep state is absolutely real and has to be rooted out, this is his best shot. He's not going to be able to fight the deep state behind a microphone or in a podcast. The deep state can't be combated.
Yeah.
So if he really believes that the deep state has control and is manipulating things, this is his shot.
Correct.
You don't walk away from it.
You're right, but it's also actual work. Which, being a talk radio host, we all know.
That's not work.
We don't
No,
really do.
no.
People are like, hey,
Yeah.
Jeff, when are you going to run for office? I'm like, well, I have to sit in committee meetings.
Yeah,
what are you?
those are
Why would I
ridiculous.
want to do that
Yeah.
with my time?
Why'd I want to do
Instead,
that?
I just get to make fun of the libs.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so much easier.
I mean, you would have to actually do real stuff if you were a politician or you're working in the FBI. Instead, here on the Jeff and Bill show, a local news anchor makes fun of Jeff, and he gets to make a really cool remix of it that comes into a cool
Made
dance.
a banger. Did you
Yes.
see that, Blake?
You gotta
No,
we gotta talk about
I
this.
didn't.
Okay, we gotta
Oh,
take a
you
moment here just to
kidding
talk
me?
about this. This is cool. Okay, Jeff, you gotta tell the story. Yeah, Jeff was shouted out or called out, depending on the interpretation, by a local anchor.
See,
No
all
way.
right, so
Yeah, this is
Kylie,
awesome.
Kylie Clark, he calls me out on the show because I was frustrated with everything utility oriented. Right, the idea that they're taking away your natural gas, the idea that they're commandeering property in eastern Colorado, that they want to get to all green energy by 2050, and now they're shutting everybody's power down because of wind. I'm like, have you had enough of this commie crap? Well, Kyle's like calling me out on it, going, it's a business. Excel's a business. They're not a communist business, whatever.
But a monopoly
Anyways,
still, too,
he quotes my tweet, which says commie crap in it. All right? And then
so Jeff gets creative.
so I decided to make a banger.
You got to listen to this. Get close to the radio.
Conservative talk radio host Jeff Hunt referred to the wind-related shutoffs as commie crap, 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 commie crap.
And then I overlaid it with Jared Polis dancing.
That is
wait,
the
when
best.
did you post that?
Yesterday at some
Yeah.
point.
Oh,
You guys
I
are supposed
gotta
to be doing
check
real
that
work.
out.
You've got to go and check it out because the cherry on top is Jared Polis at the end because he's got that smile. He's looking right at the camera and he's doing a little stupid dance. That is the best. That is the best thing in the world. It is fantastic. You've got to see this.
awesome.
Yeah. Everyone listening, you've got to go check this out. This is amazing. This is so cool.
Oh, that's great. I gotta check. I definitely have to see
Yeah,
that. What editing system did you use there,
Adobe
Jeff?
Premiere.
Oh, Adobe. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta check it
But
out.
to get Kyle Clark to
I like
quote me
Yes.
saying commie crap,
So good.
I'm almost thinking of buying one of those red Staples button
Yes.
that you would hit, and it would say, that was easy. Or what was it? What
Yeah,
was
that was easy.
That was
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
And
that
just
was
changing the
easy.
audio to Kyle Clark going, commie crap, commie crap, commie crap.
So then when Jeff is on one of the long monologues, and this is just a bunch of beep, comic crap, we can insert Kyle's voice a couple of times. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to check that out. Okay, now I'm going to make Jeff mad. Candace Owens continues her work. Here we go. It is 6:15 in the morning. Here we go. Now, she said last night that police officers in Utah have tipped her off to a story about one officer who pulled over a speeding Toyota RAV4. Is one of the Toyotas that she identified weeks ago on her show, connected with the Egyptian planes, which turned out to be true also, by the way, right after the Charlie Kirk assassination near campus.
Anyways, there were some good guys in the police department who had recalled, and I did confirm that I'm speaking with people at the police at the police department at the very least, who recalled something odd that happened on that day involving a white Toyota RAV4. The story goes, obviously everybody's eyes are peeled, looking for anything unusual, looking for the suspect on this manhunt, and there's an officer who catches a speeding car shortly after the shot is fired, and this officer is convinced that this is the killer. Like this, I'm going to be in hot pursuit of this killer. The officer pulls over the Toyota RAV4, and when the officer gets to the window, the driver of the RAV4 flashes an FBI badge. I am telling you the exact truth of it, what was communicated to me, and I would like to confirm the story because it's pretty explosive if that is true. If Toyota RAV4 was pulled over, how do we get that? Do we have to FOIA? I don't know. And that's why I'm putting it out there, because there may be a way to even get around. I'm assuming that officer would have had to have a camera on him.
Good show last night. You're missing out, Jeff.
You got to go watch Pierce Morgan and Candace
I
Owens.
watched that. I watched Pierce. I thought she did great again with Pierce. Well, I'll play that later.
Golly, she gets so cornered by him.
Oh, I don't think so. Pierce is you said she's a dope. He's a dope. If she's a dope, he's a dope.
He uses her own lines about Turning Point being complicit, and then she has to walk that back. I haven't watched somebody walk something back that bad ever.
I don't know. I thought she did a pretty good job. I did. What are you, a commie?
Commie crap.
All right. Nick Reiner appeared in an L.A. courtroom Wednesday wearing a suicide prevention vest. Reiner's lawyer told reporters that the case is complex and that Reiner has a right to a vigorous defense. The 32-year-old is charged with murdering his parents, of course, with a knife, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. All right, let's see. Let's do this. You know what? The Broncos going for 12 straight wins this weekend. Jags in town, and QB Bo Nix. Bo knows he loves the home field advantage.
You know, we've been able to put something together this year. I think that's been a good product for them to enjoy, and I think it's just a great home environment. It's one of the best, atmospheres in the entire country, not just professionally, but we're starting to really play. It feels like each game is a playoff game, and each game has a lot of importance to it. And so having a home crowd, playing at home is, you obviously wouldn't want to go on the road in this situation, but.
All right, it's going to be important, that home field advantage. Magic at the Nuggets tonight in Lodo. We got hoops at the arena. 28 in Westminster, 26 in Castle Rock, 29 in Denver. You are waking up with Jeff and Billy, and it is Thursday. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
As a Pacific storm system in front coming out of the Pacific Northwest rapidly moves into Colorado today, generally light winds to start the day will ramp up this afternoon, and conditions will get quite windy this afternoon, this evening, and overnight into early Thursday, especially along I-25 and west. Do be ready for that. Highs today will be mild, mid to upper 60s, then the wind up to 50 miles an hour in gusts. Higher gusts in those foothill areas. There will be a small chance of a rain or snow shower this evening and overnight. Colder tonight, a low near 30. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Here comes Santa Trump down the gold-plated lane, suit and tie with a shiny red
Here comes
sleigh.
Santa Trump.
I love how this is like, it's like 8/8 time instead of 4/4. This is like done on twice speed, kind of like a speech last night. It's very applicable. It's just like twice as fast as it needs to be. It really is. This is an 8/8 time. You can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, you can. Oh man, this is yeah. I have no idea if this is going to curse or not.
I
So.
literally just typed this into AI song. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
I just said.
And that
Come up
also
with a
shows.
song that says, "Here comes Santa Trump."
That also is a show of what AI does, which is very interesting based on the music side, just to geek for a sec. Because it is not, it's not a search engine. It looks for what is most popular or what happens most often. So when AI makes music, it looks at musical structures for certain types of songs and then will repeat them. That's why the songs will sound so familiar, but there's no base creativity inside. So yeah,
Here
that's
comes
fun.
Santa
But yeah,
Trump.
exactly.
Here comes Santa Trump right down the golden lane.
There's some really, really good parody songs out there. I've got some that, well, I can't play on the air here because but yeah, that are fantastic out there. That they're really, really good. That are very creative. But yeah, that's nice. It's cute.
Well,
but I love the fact that it's twice as fast as it should be. Is that kind of applicable?
Yeah, well, you and I are twice as slow as we should be because of the wind.
Oh yeah,
and not getting
I'm
a good
so
night's
slow today.
sleep, and you had a dog barking all day.
Yeah.
Oh well, we got a lot to talk about because DJT, Santa Trump, bringing the gifts to the men and women in uniform out there. Each one getting a stipend of $1,776 to more than 1.4 million U.S. service members right before Christmas. A bonus he called Warrior Dividends. What do you think of this? Would love to hear from you. Is this a great little bonus to the men and women in uniform? It's going to cost a lot. What'd you say, about $2 billion?
Yeah, about 2.5 is what I'm doing. I mean, it's rough math. I think it may be a little less, 2.4. Yeah.
So I posted about this last night on X. Lots of comments from my libertarian friends going, great, we're just printing more money. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're already $37 trillion in debt. What's $2 billion? Just print it, send it out there. I remember thinking to myself when we all got those little COVID bonus stimulus check things, what disaster this was going to be for inflation, because the single largest impact on inflation is government printing of money. And it did. It drove it all up. Some of the worst inflation this country's ever seen as a result of some of those COVID stimulus checks. Is this going to drive inflation? Is it going to increase the debt? Or is this a nice gift to the people that serve our country oftentimes away from their families? So a little $1,776 warrior dividend from Santa Trump is a nice little gift. Give us a call. Join the conversation. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Speaking of Dan Caplis, Dan suggests you should choose a lawyer who shares your values, because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says a lot about you to everyone involved in the case. Dan Caplis, the son of a police officer and a former seminarian who has dedicated the last 40 years of his life to helping people who've been hurt in serious motor vehicle crashes. Dan is also believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law, the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law, a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, here's the phone number, 303-770-5551, 303-770-5551, or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S Law.com. We'll get to your phone calls and texts. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
comes Santa Trump.
Another one?
Here
What
comes
the
Santa
hell?
Trump.
What are you doing,
Riding down
Jeff?
the
Another one?
golden lane.
This is better though.
Suit is bright, hair's a sight. Shouting slogans once again.
This is much better than last one.
Big red hat and a sack of tweets. Shiny shoes on his tiny feet. Here comes Santa Trump. Here
This one's
comes
fairly
Santa
clever.
Trump.
This is kind of cute.
Ready to repeat. Here comes Santa Trump. Here
And you
comes
did this
Santa
all with
Trump.
AI, my friend. This is good. That was much better than the last one. Yeah, this has got this actual rhythm to it. Yeah, it's clever. This is nice.
Last night, Trump does a speech, highlights his accomplishments, and one of the policy changes he's going to make is that they're sending checks of $1,776 to more than 1.4 million U.S. service members before Christmas. Bonuses he called warrior dividends. And my mind went to Santa Trump. Here comes Santa
That's
Trump.
funny.
Here comes Santa Trump. What do you think of these? Is this a good use of money going to the right people, or just the government once again putting us in further and further into debt? Here's a text message from 6728. With all the money that gets wasted elsewhere in other countries for condoms, transgender education, it's nice to see our sons and daughters in the military get a little bit of holiday cheer. I'm okay with it. Can't remember any other president in history doing anything like this. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not sure about that. I'll have to check. I think there were bonuses other times in our history, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about that one.
Right. Well, give us a call. Text in. We'd love to hear from you. Let's go to the phone lines. Marcus Aurora. Good morning, Marcus. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I'm happy the vets got a bonus. They had plenty of money for illegal aliens, undocumented, and they had housing and all this stuff and waste our money. Why shouldn't a vet get some money in the combat zones, the veterans?
Well, actually, it's not veterans, Marcus. It's just current
I
service.
understand that. I understand that the reserves,
and I'm
the
wondering,
Coast Guard,
yeah,
and
but
that. I'm happy for them.
does that matter to you as far as it's only current service members, not veterans included? And the reason I ask that, and the only reason I ask that, is because of the nomenclature they're using, because they're calling it a warrior dividend. And I would submit that we have prior vets that would meet that definition of warrior. Those that fought in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, who are no longer in the service. And so if it is a warrior dividend, I think I could make an argument that it should also cover all current veterans as well as active service members. But that's a much bigger check. And so that's just what I'm curious. That's what I'm curious about when you're saying this should go to our vets, but it's actually active service members. Should it actually include veterans as well in your mind? As you said, we're paying for all the transgender stuff and the DEI stuff. Should it also include vets in your mind?
I don't think so, because a lot of veterans were proud. We did our time. We came out. We had hard times. VA and everybody's been good to us. But the young guys coming up and women.
You don't want a $1,700 check? That wouldn't help? That wouldn't ease anything? Because that's the idea. Is it's easing the burdens of the horrible Biden administration and the awful Biden economy. That it wouldn't be an advantage?
No, because they're out there in the combat zones. And listen what I'm going to say. And they're away from their families. They're on ships and all this stuff. It's totally different. They're in the zone. We're not in the zone. And I think they deserve it. But we got money for undocumented aliens and apartment rents and free debit cards and all this and motel rooms. That's crazy.
Well, with the idea, then, if it's such a good idea for the veterans, should it have instead been a pay raise rather than a one-time payout in your mind?
No, because when we went into combat zone, we got extra pay for being in a combat zone. This is for the new veterans. Let them have a good Christmas. Let them have a good New Year's. I approve that.
It's fair. I see where you're coming from. The thing for me is I'm just worried about why it doesn't also, if it's a warrior dividend, include veterans. And the other question is, where's everybody else's Trump check? Because he did announce several times that we would be getting, all of us would be getting a dividend. And now, not only is it less than what he had announced, It's to only a fraction of the population. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but I'm just curious about the downscale of the idea.
Bill,
We've gone from big idea to downscale.
There's a phrase for the way you look at Trump, and it's called bah humbug. No matter what DJT does, you'll never give him any credit. You're wondering why everybody else isn't getting this.
No.
Where's our check?
What
about everything else?
I'm just holding him to his
Santa
promises.
Trump showing up with a great gift for the men and women in uniform that are sacrificing so much for our protection and safety. And the question is, where's the check for the rest of us?
Wait, sacrificing so much? Hang on a second.
Ours.
I could argue that people in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, along with Iraq and Afghanistan, would sacrifice a lot more than what we are sacrificing right now in active service. They were in actual combat. So if we're talking about sacrifice, that's why I throw in the vets. That's my reasoning behind it. That if this is about their sacrifice and their service, then I think vets should qualify as well. And when I talk about where's my Trump check, I'm just holding him to his promises. I'm not sitting here and being bah humbug. I'm just looking at, he said this is something we would do, and then when he eventually announces the program, it's less money and to a fraction of the population. That's a tremendous downsizing. I like the idea that he's doing it. I'm in support of it. Yes, he should do it. I just don't think it's enough, personally, based on what he
Marcus,
said.
your response.
I think it's excellent. It's great. I like Billy, but they deserve it. And then you could talk about the vets. Those were different wars, different times. But this is for young men and women now. Give it to them. Those
There
that
you
are
go.
serving right now.
Look
Yeah.
at that Christmas spirit, Marcus.
I appreciate the
I
Christmas
love it.
spirit market, although I would say that some of the older vets at this time on fixed incomes could probably use the cash as well. They probably could. That would help. And that's why, if we're about the Christmas giving and we're in the spirit, I would cover all vets. I would be, if I was in the meeting room and arguing for that, if it's a warrior dividend based on their service and sacrifice, then yes, you cover all vets in my mind. And I think that is a much more magnanimous gesture based on the culture, where this appears to me to be something that is a downsized promise because the numbers don't work.
What do you think? Join the conversation. Here's the phone number, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Marvin, the meat handler, saying Trump growing the government again. Or you have the libertarian mindset of, my goodness, it's always more money. We're always printing more money and giving it away to people and growing the government again. Regardless of who it might be, it's just more money being printed. What do you think? Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us at 720-819-5115. Doug texted in, what I'm curious about with this warrior bonus is the position reversal. Will the people who say we are in debt and shouldn't be spending extra money, and those that supported spending on liberal policies will now switch positions on this? Exactly. Doug, I think that's probably what will happen. Also, as a vet of the first Gulf War, I agree with Marcus. I love the extra money, but send it to those currently serving. Look at that. This is what I love about people who serve in the military, is they always think about other people. They're always sacrificial. You saw that with Marcus. You see it with Doug. Yes, they'd love the money as a vet, but give it to the young men and women out there on the front lines these days. Let's go to Steve in Inglewood. Good morning, Steve. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Hi, Jeff. Question. What's the federal tax on $1,776?
That's a good question. Do they get taxed? Do members of the military get taxed on their pay?
Yeah.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah. So they're probably going to get taxed on this?
And the other part is, because this is a bonus check, or how it's done, the tax rate is much higher. In fact, your tax rate on most bonus checks, and again, I don't know the structure inside the military, but normally it runs out to be about 32 to 40% is normally what the tax rate is on those bonus checks. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, because what they do is it's a one-time payout. They're not looking at it as income, so you don't have to regularly depend upon it. So it's viewed as kind of a windfall. So it fits into a different tax bracket, and it's taxed differently normally.
Steve, what do you think of this? A good move?
Hey, you're in, you're sure of the load. Pay it.
Here's a text message from KKP.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Trump ain't done, Bill. Come on, let the military enjoy their windfall. There's more to come.
Oh, that's fine. But the issue, where's the announcement? texter. I'd love to hear that. That would be the thing is, right now for Christmas, we're giving this gift. And in the new year, everybody else can look forward to, there's a Santa, Trump. If it is the plan, that's what I'm looking at, is the only thing that we announced was this, which is a drastically scaled back dividend than what we'd been talking about the previous months. I'm just curious as to why. I'm just looking at what Trump said he was going to do and what he's announced. I'm looking at the difference between the two, the promises and the action.
Paul Applewood. Let's go to Paul in Applewood. Good morning, Paul. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. How are you? What's on your mind?
I was in Jimmy Carter's Navy from 1975 to 1981. He really stripped the Navy. We had to cannibalize certain parts off of planes and put them on others because we simply didn't have the money. As a veteran, and it's just my opinion, let him have the dividend. It's 1776. It's an important day. I always think of these young guys that don't really have the freedoms that we did have about 50 years ago. And the way they were treated during COVID and everything, I really think that they deserve and need that 1776.
Should it be expanded? I mean, could we cover vets? Or, in theory, because I would assume that veterans also were hit hard during COVID and the like. They would have a shared experience. If that's part of the, burden that they had at the time, should we expand it? And again, I keep going back to the idea of it being a warrior dividend. And so I'm looking for rewarding the warriors. And I know I'm making the conversation difficult, and I'm doing this on purpose, just between you and me, Paul. But yeah, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you've been hired as the contrarian.
I am. Yes, I like to swim against the current. Yes.
You get the slings and arrows. Yes,
all the time.
Understand.
And I deserve them, my friend. You and I can agree. I deserve them times too. Absolutely.
And you make the program interesting. I love to hear contrary views. This stuff with agreeing and disagreeing is just ridiculous. As a veteran, I don't need 1776. We need to work on the deficit, and I voted that way all of my life. I'm 70 this year. This year, I'm 70 years old. I always voted for, especially if you've watched Johnny Carson, they talk about, we're approaching a $1 trillion deficit, a trillion,
Paul, I'm glad you bring that up because I've watched that too, the idea that everybody's scared about the number getting bigger. And then we all watch this blow by that number and we go, oh, now I'm scared about the next number. I got a question for you because we got to go here in just a second. And I appreciate your service. And man, 70 years, I hope they've been beautiful for you. I want to talk.
Life in America.
Dude, that's fantastic. Now, a question I've got for you is when you're focusing on the deficit. This is the question that I've got. Trump is going about talking about all the money we are bringing in for the tariffs. Yet he's going out and he's promising the tariff money to a whole bunch of people. We're giving it to the military now. We've got $20 billion that's going out to farmers. He's been promising dividend checks to the U.S. He said that he's going to pay for free IVF. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that he has said is going to pay for that. The tariff money is going to be paid for. But he also says it's going to pay down the deficit. If you had to make the choice, Paul, do you take that money and spend it outside the government on the ideas of farmers, free IVF, this warrior dividend, or do you use it to pay down the deficit? What would your priority be personally, just you today?
Boy, what a question. I do it for future generations, the children of children's children that, that's going to be on their back, and the dividenz should be to clear the way for future generations.
See, Paul,
telling you, they're always thinking of other people.
See, and Paul, I'm right there with you. because that's the thing that I look at, that if we are so worried about the deficit, then this tariff money should be concentrated there. And it worries me that he's looking at it. I feel that Trump's looking at it as a magic purse, and that he then gets to go dole out this money as the largesse of the Treasury, rather than focusing on what you, I, and others think might be a really big problem coming down the road, the deficit. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it, man.
Applewood, sure appreciate it. Thanks for your service as well. Breadman texted in wondering when Phil Weiser will sue Trump to stop this. All right.
Breadman, that is wonderful. You're the best. That is
All right,
great.
we got You Choose the News coming up. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk station, News Talk 710 KNUS. Oh, this is somewhat unusual. This is Merle Haggard. Now, this is one, it's early 70s. It becomes one of Haggard's signature songs. It's sad, kind of depressing, but it's nice. What I love about this is that he's a poet. This is poetry set to music. That's what's so beautiful about this in my mind.
Nice.
Yeah. This also, I believe the story was sparked by one of the guys in the band saying the phrase, "If I make it through December." And he's like, wait, there's an idea there.
Yeah,
I think
right.
that, if I remember correctly, and I don't remember who it is in the band, but it's one of the band members that mentions that phrase, and Haggard stops and says, there's something in that idea.
That's a good line. Because you hit the new year and there's optimism and stuff like that.
Oh, exactly. And everyone, again, if we make it through December, and then
It's
you're
the
like,
cold,
oh, yeah.
dark nights.
And then the credit card bills after Christmas.
True.
Yes, the harbinger of doom is upon us, yes.
All right, Mr. Thorpe, give us a little You Choose the News, please.
Yes, it is that time where we get to get a little silly. We appreciate you joining us for America's favorite fake radio news game show. This is You Choose the News. How does it work? I browsed the interwebs for mere moments this morning to find really dumb stories about us humans and then give them more ridiculous headlines because we want to play this fake radio news game show. Why would we do this and waste valuable KNUS airtime? Shouldn't we be doing something much more important? Well, nobody in charge is awake at this hour, so when left unsupervised, Jeff and I are going to take full advantage. As always, Blake Olson joins us from the news department. Gentlemen, your headlines today. Headline number 1, turning your conspiracy into cold hard cash. Headline number 2, isn't this a Halloween thing? Headline number 3, that's a lot of singles. And headline number 4, dangerous movie star. Mr. Hunt, your choice.
Let's start with the dangerous movie star, please.
Yes, dangerous movie star ahead. Here we find ourselves in Beijing. Zootopia 2 has become China's big box office smash. And in a twist, maybe putting some Chinese residents in danger. Now, why? First of all, Zootopia 2 has garnered more than $445 million US. That is the highest grossing animated foreign film ever in China. It is a signature blockbuster. The problem is one of the characters, specifically Gary the Snake. A vividly colored blue pit viper. Nice job there. Blue pit viper. I'd like to buy a vowel, please, Vanna, and then spin the wheel. Okay.
Says the snake guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Gary has proven to be a hit in China. There's a whole bunch of plush toys. It's one of the most in-demand Christmas holiday items right now. Problem is, it's also led for a surge in demand for the real snake species. And that's not a good thing. That is the blue Indonesian pit viper. While the venom isn't necessarily deadly to you, you get bitten, you will have a very, very, very bad day. They are seeing people online in China spending more and more time trying to figure out how to procure a pit viper as a pet. Note to self, that's a very bad idea. I do not keep anything that can kill me or hurt me that way. So just a bad idea. But how's that idea? Look, you have a blue snake, and then the kid has to go to the hospital. Not the kind of Christmas present you want. No. All right, now, to Blake, turn your conspiracy into cold hard cash? Isn't this a Halloween thing? Or that's a lot of singles. Your choice.
Conspiracies and cold hard cash.
Yes, turning your conspiracy into cold hard cash. Are you a conspiracy theorist that wants to turn your conspiracy theory into cold hard cash? Would you like to own your own sportswear company? Well, hey, today is your lucky day.
Oh, I thought this was like a
Jeff
Candace Owens, like,
See what I did? See what I did there?
Yes.
Aha. Yes. That's why the headlines are there to sometimes confuse you and mislead. Okay, here we go. Note to everybody. Now, this is the deal. If you can prove the Earth is actually flat, you could get a whole bunch of cash from Columbia Sportswear. Yes. A new ad from the company features Tim Boyle, the company's CEO, saying, hey, you guys out there claim there's the end of the earth? Go snap a picture, send it to us, and you'll get some of the assets of our company. Now, he does say you'll get all the assets, but what he really means, based on other information, is a bunch of stuff they have laying around the office. Yeah, he does say that a cliff top in Seattle, a cul-de-sac in Kansas isn't the end of the earth. It can't help there. But he has things like there's some old clothing samples, you'll get a copy machine, a stuffed deer head, and even what appears to be a decommissioned gondola, amounting to about $100,000. But again, free stuff if you can prove the world is flat, conspiracy theorists. Yes, I know. Free. It's my second favorite
gondola.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Who couldn't use another copy machine?
Who couldn't? We all of us could use that in our homes. Okay, Jeff, your choice, sir. Isn't this a Halloween thing, or that's a lot of singles?
That's a lot of singles.
It's a lot of singles. It may be the season of giving, but even Santa might draw the line at this. Police in California say they saw... Oh, wait, hold on. That's the wrong headline for this one. Damn it, Beavis. What did I do there? Hold on. We got to go to this one. That is the wrong story. Aha, there we go. This is the one. That's a lot of singles. Over the past 14 years, Portland, Oregon, a group out there has donated more than $183,000 worth of toys to a children's hospital. It is their annual holiday fundraiser, making them the top donor to the hospital. Their donor fundraiser event is called Tatas for Toys. Yes, it's a bunch of strippers. Strippers recently held an annual 15th annual record-breaking event at the Alberta Rose Theatre, raising more than $60,000 in donations for the little kids at the Children's Hospital. Only in Portland would the strippers be the number one donor during Christmas time to the Children's Hospital. Yeah. The other story was about
They're number one?
They're number one. Yep. Most donations at the Children's Hospital over Christmas comes from the people who take their clothes off for money.
Goodness. You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
Isn't that great? This is 710 KNUS.